So what are you doing?
Nothing.
Nothing? Why not?
Trying to get on this Lifestyle Radio website.
Sounds like a cool website.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, wait, I might have it.
You might have it.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
The opinions expressed during this show are those of the individual participants and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of their associated organizations or Lifestyle Radio.
You like music, you like weed, well, we gonna be good friends indeed. This is how much I like more than smoking trees. They'll make you dance the do-si-do and teach you how the chiba grows. Smoke a bowl on the 420 radio show. On Lifestyle Radio.
We can't sing with that. We can't sing with this, buddy. We can't unmute.
Wait, I thought you said you could unmute.
No, I tried. Wouldn't let me. Hello. Hi, how are you? Welcome to the 420 radio show. I'm Al.
I'm Marcel, and I'm messaging Darcy and giving him a hard time.
Yeah, he's trying to find people. We don't know where everybody is. So, hi, how are you? Thanks for coming.
Isn't it how high are you?
What's that?
Isn't it how high are you?
Oh, I'm pretty high. Yeah. Had Chinese food for dinner. So I'm full and high.
I made hundreds of pork balls and onion rings and bagged them all up and froze them.
Wait. I'm waiting for what Darcy's typing.
Yeah, I know. Darcy's not the fastest typer.
Darcy is getting his antibiotics
to the hospital until 9:30.
Well, that's okay. We're here until 10 tonight.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to wait. I have a video I want to show everybody, but I'm going to wait.
Yes, we will.
And stuff. So, what happened to you this week, Marcel?
What happened to me this week?
Yeah, same shit, different day.
Pretty much.
Making rum balls again?
No, I don't make rum balls. I don't like rum.
My mom used to make rum balls. Oh, they were so good with the little chocolate sprinkles.
Yeah, no. I had rum come out my nose too many times. Me and rum just don't get along.
Say, well, then Carla should come on. Oh, look, we have a chat thingy. Oh. Lennie's at the pharmacy.
Oh.
Yeah. So here's another thing we can do with the chat thing, bud. You ready?
No, hang on. I'm not there. I'm still on the other screen.
Okay.
How do you know that's Lennie?
How do I know? Because he said at the pharmacy. At a pharmacy even. So I'm assuming it's Lennie. Because he was talking in there too. I saw him.
That he was away tonight.
Yeah.
When he said he's away, I figured he was at a hockey game.
So you're looking at the screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Can do this. So that when somebody chats to us during the show, it just shows up here. We don't have
that's kind of cool.
We don't have to, and it just moves, it shoves everything over. Now here's the other thing that's really cool. Okay.
All right.
You want to know where to go to catch our live feed? Go to 420radio.ca. Just go up to the little code up there at the top there and click it with your phone. It'll take you right to the website.
Okay, so
like this.
Hang on. No, what I want to do is I want to go and look on Facebook.
Yes, to see what it looks like.
See what it looks like there. I'm gonna have to mute it on.
So we're trying something new, is what we're doing, folks. We're just playing and trying to keep up with technology.
Okay, QR code's much bigger on Facebook page.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, if you
on the screen I was looking at on our screen, that's too small to actually scan because most of it is covered by the live.
Oh yeah, but on Facebook or when with somebody's watching it, you don't see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, it still has the live.
It's Lennie. It's definitely Len because he needs to stay educated and licensed. So he's at a pharmacy event.
Oh, ooh. They're like rockin' time, aren't they?
I've actually been to an event with my father, a few of them when I was much younger. Hello, Mary Jane. Ooh, nice outfit.
Thank you.
New one.
Uh-oh.
Is
Very
this a new
Halloween-y.
one? I've not seen
This
this.
is, yeah, this is new. This is for Halloween.
That's a
Oh,
Halloween-y one.
this is a weird, okay.
You
Okay,
should
now I can see everything.
you should get an orange Halloween one with wieners all over it, so you can walk around going "Happy Halloweener."
Oh,
Can you adjust individual volumes?
Yes, you can. I can, anyways.
Well,
why am
can
I
you
too
adjust
loud?
hers? Yes.
Why is mine really loud?
No, hers is.
No, me.
I can turn you down.
Please do. Apologies.
Is that better?
You're showing off your blue screen now.
My blue? I got a blue ceiling too. Can you see it up there?
Yeah. Well, you can use a blue screen or a green screen,
You know,
Ooh.
but you can't use a blue and green screen.
on this particular
No, that's true.
setup, we can use you can match any color because there's actually a color graph that you can go in and choose the color of the wall.
Okay. Well, I was like, we mainly use the green screen, but the blue screen's up there only because when we do anything with plants, we pull the blue screen down so that way, because if you try and do a green screen with plants in front of it, you're screwed.
Yeah,
It just, yeah.
No doubt.
Oh, I don't know which way to go. Do we go this way? I'm like, do we go this way? Like when I go this way, something weird happens and I can't see everybody. I knew I should have came early.
Still on your hello? Are you still on your cell phone? You didn't get your computers working?
I don't want to talk about it.
Never mind.
I don't want to talk about it.
What are you smoking?
I've been so busy. I've been so busy with everything, with the planning of the Halloween party tomorrow. And like I learned how to build a balloon arch. I've never done that before.
I never got an invite.
Oh, are you gonna drive out?
You gonna jump in your Porsche and come out?
You gonna come? It's in Keene, Ontario. It's too bad Al wasn't living out this way.
15 minutes from the fucking farm. She's doing stuff there now, and I'm not there. I'm not 15 minutes from anywhere anymore.
I'm sorry.
17 hours away from everything.
Oh.
Although I tell you what, it's really cool to sit in my window and watch bears walk across my lawn. I think it's really cool. The little cubs are cute. When you've got a little baby bear cub looking up at you and they just got a big smile on their face and they're going, play with me. And then you look out of the corner of your eye and you see mom standing there. It's
no. No. No, I like the city. I can handle the animals that live in the city. That's it.
Got brown bears and black bears here. The brown
I
bears.
I don't see color.
Yeah, just a big bear. Yeah.
That's it. I'm running.
On my birthday, while my sister and her boyfriend were here, we're coming back from shopping, and there's a moose right on the fucking road in front of us. I thought that was us. I had a birthday moose. That was cool. We haven't done a show since my birthday, I don't think, since before.
No, you weren't feeling well last week. Good to see you're feeling better.
My stomach's been,
Well, we haven't chatted in a while. I had my very first karaoke gig.
I was going to ask you how that went.
I first night went good. It was there was 10 singers. The second night, which was last night, I think went amazing. I'm like, I had to yank the microphone, like pry it out of the person's hand because he wanted to sing so bad he wasn't ready for the night to be over. So I will see you next week. That's what I said to him. We'll see you next week.
We could do a karaoke night very easily on here.
Oh, well,
I
I
wanted
do.
karaoke in a bar one night.
So why aren't we doing a
And
karaoke?
Nice.
I was loaded. I mean, I
so
was
I
drunk.
I host
But
karaoke parties, like if you wanted to have a party. But like, are you talking about like come out to you? Because you don't
No,
do it
I'm
online.
here, like right here. I can find
no,
some
an
karaoke
online karaoke.
online karaoke, right from the bar.
Yeah. No,
Well,
I
fucking,
feel like there's something about performing in front of people.
fuck
Otherwise, you're
that.
just singing to your phone or computer.
Marcel won't even turn on his fucking camera for the show. He's gonna turn it on to sing a song. Yeah, don't get
Hey,
so.
Cor-
I feel privileged. Marcel turned his camera on for our podcast. It's nice to see you, Marcel.
You're welcome. Corbin had a whole fucking series of karaoke in a car,
Hmm.
right? He
Yeah.
wasn't doing it in front of a live audience, but
Yeah,
him and all the stars that he got in there.
but he was singing with fucking Celine Dion and all.
Yeah, but it was still karaoke in the car.
So can I ask you guys a question? Since we're just yapping,
Maybe.
have you guys ever seen the original "Fuck You, Tony" video? Mary Jane,
I don't even know what you're talking about.
you know that? Hey, fuck you! No, fuck you! What's your name? Tony. What's your name? Ezekiel. You've never seen that with the dogs doing that?
Why would I have seen this?
Because it's
Okay,
on
it's a
Facebook.
video that was going around the internet for years.
Oh yeah. Well, I found the
And
original. I should show. Let's show her the dog one first, Marcel.
yeah, show her the
What?
dog one first.
I'm going to show you the dog
Because
one.
somebody took the original one and remade it to the dog one.
Like, yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about. You're talking gibberish right now.
Play the doggy one.
I think I got sent different things back in the day. I didn't see dogs. I've seen a lot of cat videos.
I don't see cat videos. I'm not a cat fan.
That's funny. You make fun of me all the time for being a cat fan.
You want to see the horse edition?
No,
What
the
the
dog
hell?
one is awesome.
It's not. I'm not.
Can't find it, can you?
We need a Jamie, like Joe Rogan has. Jamie's like, I already got it.
Where's Timmy?
Okay,
Timmy?
I got it. I got one.
I think he's on a call right now.
Oh, because last week we were going to have Timmy in his pink wig.
Yes, we were, weren't we?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on a second here. I've got
the dog video.
the dog one. I've got the dog one loaded up here. Okay, this was on the internet for it's probably 5-6 years now already.
Okay. Well, just so you know, I'm still here, but I need to like figure out how to like put my camera off for a second.
All right. Well, I'm going to play
If
this.
that makes sense. Okay.
While you're getting ready, Jack's flight just landed. He just got back from Halifax, so he's going to try and sign on.
Okay. Okay, here we go.
All right, I'm watching.
What's your name? What? What is your name? Tony. Fuck you, Tony. What's your name? Ezekiel. Fuck you, Ezekiel. Fuck you. Fuck you. Hey, you know what I did last night? You better not bring my mother into this. You know what I did? You better not. I broke that fly over there. Oh. But I found your mother next to it. Fuck you, Ezekiel. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Okay. So that's the dog one. All right? Are you ready for the original?
Yes.
Are you sure? Should I really?
Wait, where is she? She's gone.
I'm here. I'm here.
She's here. Okay, here we go. Oh, wait.
Where is it? Oh, there it is.
I'll be back in a minute.
Yeah.
Hello? Guess what? What? You really want to know? Yes! you! What's your name? What? What's your name? Tony! Fuck you, Tony! Fuck you! What's your name? What? What's your name? Ezekiel! Ezekiel? That name fucking sucks! Hey! Guess what I did last night? Don't you fucking bring my mother to this! My mother? You guess what I did? What? I built that fire over there. And then I fucked your mother next to it. Fuck you! Oh, fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! I'll fuck you in the ass! I'll fuck you! I'll fuck your mother! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! Hey! That's what I got in this bag!
What the fuck?
That's basically what I did. Hi, buddy.
What the fuck was that?
Hey guys.
Jack just missed it.
Oh my god! Thank God.
Well, I
Jack.
saw part of it.
That was the original "Fuck You, Tony" video.
Yeah, that's right.
I've seen a little bit of the original, but I definitely did not see that ending. I almost wish I was on camera because you would have seen my face drop. What the hell?
I know. I showed it to Marcel because I wasn't sure if I should show it on the show. And it was a little unexpected. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, wasn't expecting that.
Marcel doesn't have a whole lot of morals. So,
well,
to me, everything is acceptable. But I've kind of learned over the years of what some people can and can't tolerate. So, if you had a hard time with that, lighten the fuck up. Seriously, stop taking shit seriously.
I saw it and I was like, oh, cool! I get to see the original thing, and because I've been watching that for 5-6 years at least. It's been bouncing around, right? Hey, Blue, and it's like, wow! I just like it.
I never saw that ending before.
Yeah.
So, Jack's here. How are you, Jack?
I'm good. I'm so sorry that I was late. I just got back from Nova Scotia, so I got in the house and then
could have just stayed there and done the show with them.
I know. I was kind of laughing. I was like, oh, that could have worked out. I just got a puppy, which you might have just seen. So literally, like we started interacting, and she's never tried to jump to do anything, and she tried to jump to get onto a couch. I'm in my living room, usually I'm in my office when I do it. And she smoked her head into the table. Like she doesn't know how to jump yet. And I was like, what is going on? So she's in puppy timeout zone right now.
How old is she now?
What's that?
She's how old?
Oh, 8 weeks. Like
oh, really?
What is it?
Your first puppy?
Oh, I grew up on a farm. I've had a million puppies in my life, but certainly my first puppy in a long time.
Good
so
thing you work in
the joys.
What is it, Jack?
Just a little Shih Tzu.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I like it.
She's sleeping now.
I call those slippers with guts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Purse dog.
Yeah, she's pretty cute though. Pretty cute.
So your dog is probably the same size as my dog's shit.
Oh yeah, what kind of dog do you have?
I have a Cane Corso cross with a Dog de Brador.
Oh yeah, those are big. So probably one of his dumps would. She probably only weighs a pound. She's just a little tiny thing.
Yeah, this one weighs over 200.
That's so wild. So it's like a dog that outweighs me.
And me. She actually weighs more than I do now.
Can you take her to court with you?
Oh, Yeah, because I
The
could put a
puppy?
vest on. I put a vest on the
Well,
service
yeah,
dog.
take her in as your emotional support animal.
Yeah, there you go. You could do
Right?
that.
Maybe.
Listen, if somebody has a service dog and they go to prison, are they allowed to take their dog with them?
Well, they have a legal argument for that, but generally, no.
Really?
No. They have a duty to accommodate. So I suppose if it was, it's kind of an interesting question. Like I deal with that, like if someone needs medical cannabis while they're incarcerated. There's a duty to accommodate. So I think the short answer is maybe,
Yeah. I could see it being a bit of an issue, but then it would depend on what
I think you would see
So-
significantly better results. Like if our goal with incarceration was to reduce recidivism and to rehabilitate people, making them responsible for a little animal, like there's no better way to assist people in learning about themselves and making changes.
I do it with seniors all the time. They bring them into homes now all the time.
Yeah, I think it's
I'm
great.
also
It's great.
thinking if somebody had a service dog that warned them of epileptic seizures before they happen,
Yeah.
exist. If somebody like that had epilepsy that bad that he had a service dog to warn him and got arrested and had to go to jail, I would hope that they would let him bring that dog.
Yeah, I agree. Like I think that'd be the perfect case to raise that issue. I don't know the damn answer, but
Yeah.
I agree.
So people are somebody was
Okay,
not
so-
impressed. Somebody wasn't impressed with our shot in the head thing. But
Yeah, I mean it's understandable. It's not that it's funny. It's the fact that video has been circulated with the
I had no
dog
idea. I
for
had no
5
idea.
or 6
Yeah.
years, and it was taken from the original, which showed that shot to the head.
That's right. So he
Yeah,
also
who knew Ezekiel was such a good shot?
I know. So
Yeah.
this is what he also said. There's a woman's prison that
Don't cancel me.
training for dogs. They train
In-
dogs in the prison.
In Nova Scotia.
Really?
Yeah, there's a women's prison in Nova Scotia that has the prisoner training dogs, which is excellent.
That must be Deb. I wish that I don't like this thing that we can't tell. We can see Blue because
Blue signed in on
YouTube. Yeah. What we're trying to do is we're sort of changing things around. We're moving around different streaming places and stuff because I've recently started using a service that allows me to play music now. Royalties are being paid.
Cool.
But when I go and put the stream on Facebook and YouTube, they still dump it because I'm not paying them royalties.
Oh, for goodness sakes.
Yep. So, it's Jess. It's 420 Jess. Hi, Jess. So what we're doing is I've set up things so that through a service I pay royalties. So now I can play music again. Oh, thank God.
That's
but
wonderful.
I'm going to set it up. We're going back old school. We're going to cut back on our social networking views. And if you want to come and see the show or watch a stream, come to our website like you used to. When we started doing this, you wanted to see something we were doing. You come to our website and pack into our chat room. We used to have hundreds of people sitting in our chat. You remember that, Jack?
I do. Yeah, no, it was super fun. I used to when you had Charles on, like Marijuana 101. You'd be doing I'd be like sending in weird weed cultivation questions just to mess with them.
We knew it was you.
It was fun, actually.
Jack has been a go-to guest since I started doing this some 17 years ago. So everybody's stayed. Now we need to get you here every week, Jack. Is what we need.
That'd be fun, sure.
So if I go to Facebook,
How about you fill in for days Mary Jane can't be here?
Something tells me Jack's schedule is more busy than mine.
Yeah, just a little.
Yeah, I might be a bit of a nightmare trying to lock me down. I completely.
You've only missed a few shows over the years.
I've been pretty good, actually. Yeah.
I mean, surprisingly, Jack. I mean, as busy as you are, that you come here at like I just asked you what last week is just. I love it. Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure.
So I have some questions for you, and I don't know if you can talk.
So does Jess.
Oh, okay.
I was Jack in Nova Scotia, and I had the same question.
I'm wondering if you're involved in what's going on with Neil and Ted these days, and if you can talk about it a bit, because it's puzzling what the fuck they're going through. Tell you.
No, wait. You got to answer this first.
Okay.
Yeah, you're going the other. You're going the other way. You're going to the West Coast. They want to know about the East Coast and why Jack was there.
Why
were you there? Go ahead.
Nova Scotia today.
Can you talk about it, Jack?
Well, it's public record. So there were raids in or around Cole Harbour, Nova Scotia, on Indigenous owned and operated dispensaries, and so there's just been a sort of a whole bunch of litigation surrounding that, and so that was in 2020. So in December 2020, police did a mass raid, and they hit, I think, 5 of these little shops that weren't bothering anyone.
All on the res.
All on res, yeah. And so those are working their way through the courts. I'm counsel on some. And but secondary to that, there is was another raid in the same area, purportedly just dealing with tobacco. But although there's going to be some argument.
Really? They're worried about tobacco. In 2023, they're worried about fucking tobacco.
Right.
No,
yeah.
It's not the tobacco they're worried about. It's the taxes they're not
getting. I know that, but still, I mean, I used to drive down from Mount Forest 3 hours to go to the res to buy smokes and bring cases back for everybody up there because nobody could afford regular fucking smokes. Illegal, yes, but now you can go right onto the res, buy them, you pay your taxes on them now, right? So you can actually take them off the res now. Before it was illegal. Like
a lot of people don't even understand that it's illegal.
A friend of mine, actually my friend Elzora's, her son, it lives in Uxbridge, and this was a while ago, and he went to one of the reservations and bought a case of smokes, and as he was leaving, he got pulled over by OPP. They confiscated the smokes and fined him. Here's the fucking thing. He's Indigenous. He's got his card and everything. But because he took that case of cigarettes off reservation property, they nailed him for it.
I think there's a big political.
But wait,
issue.
hold it now. If he is a card carrying native,
yeah,
on the reserve, and he
I don't know what the proper word is now. Indigenous, native.
Regardless, if he's a carded individual,
it's a native status card, isn't it?
Right, and he's buying his smokes on the reserve. He's not paying his taxes. If he takes them off the reserve, then he could be liable because he may be selling them off of the reserve.
Yes, I guess.
Right? And I can understand that, but
and a pack is different than a carton. They wouldn't
give him a fine for taking them off if he paid the taxes, because I can go to the reserve here and buy smokes at the reserve, and I pay the same price as I do any place off the reserve. People on the reserve go to the band office.
Okay,
and they buy theirs at the band office with no tax.
So explain this to me. How can I go to Alderville or up here to one of the reservations here and fill up my tank and then leave the res and come home? How can
Well, technically, I heard, isn't that illegal too? Once you drive off of the reserve, you can't take the gas out of the territory.
On our reserves, the gas stations are like every other gas station. Are the one that I go to on the reserve.
You pay tax because we don't pay tax.
Oh, we do. We
Yeah,
pay
we
tax
don't.
on everything. We're in Nova Scotia. We pay fucking tax on damn near everything.
Yes, but if you go into the reserve, if you go onto the territory, I don't pay tax there. Nobody pays tax. Now, if they go out of the territory and they use their band card or their tax exemption card, they cannot pay tax anywhere.
Okay, so how it is in Nova Scotia is some places will honor that tax exemption card. Some places won't. If they won't, then it's up to the individual to fill in the forms and send in the receipts and get their money back. Some businesses have been told that they used to supply to individuals, and they were told that they couldn't sell them tax-free tires. They couldn't accept the van cars, and this was from CRA telling them that you can't do that. You have to be on the reserve to be able to do that. Wow. So how they got around it was they would take the orders for the tires, deliver the tires to the reserve, do the transaction at the reserve. Tax laws are fucked. I'm telling you, this country is totally fucked, and this province is one of the worst for fucked up taxes. You wait, they're going to have a tax on farting. You'll probably see it coming every time.
Well, they are trying to tax the air, so that's going to be included.
Yeah, jeez.
The clean air bill.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. When I was told if you purchase, like, say for example, if I went onto the reserve and got a carton of cigarettes, and I was caught on my way home, I was told that what I was supposed to say was that I was actually not on my way home, but I was on my way to I think there's 3 of them in Ontario, the duty stores. You have to actually drive to the store and pay the duty on the purchase you just made because you have to pay the provincial and territorial taxes or something.
Yeah, like a cop is gonna believe that.
I'm like, yeah, no, seriously, I'm on my way to Cornwall right now.
Yeah,
I think it's like Cornwall, Windsor, Niagara, like any of those like duty places. But I'm like,
yeah, cop's gonna be all over that one. Oh yeah, we get this all the time. Yeah, you go ahead.
Being caught with a case, or sorry, a carton is different than being caught with a case. And like when I go out to fill up my gas and you see people go in and I'm grabbing my blunt wraps and I'm watching people go in and they grab like cases of cigarettes, cigars, liquor, and they're like loading up the back of their truck and they're driving to like Toronto or like, Ottawa or wherever. But
there was a guy who got caught here.
I used to go to Brantford with my mom to get cartons when I was living up in Mount Forest, like I said. And we would go and buy computer stuff down there tax-free as well. Because they had a Mac store right on the reservations in Brantford. So
yeah, we got a furniture store out here, appliance store. People from Belleville, they all buy their stuff out there.
The mall that Ross was looking to go into to bring his shop into, is that still there? And they have all different stores that are all Indigenous as well, right? That mall is still there. Yes.
In Trenton, that's not on the reserve though.
No. There was a mall that is on Indigenous land out that way. That Ross was looking at taking and putting BMA in, or what was it? BMA?
BMA, yeah. I'm not sure about that. You have more knowledge about that than I do.
Or something like that. Miracle?
Yeah.
Or something?
Miracle. They're all miracles out there.
Oh, okay.
It's like when you go to a certain town, there's all like certain families and they're like my kids were raised in a town like that where when they started going to school, I told my son, like, before you get a girlfriend, I need to know what her last name is because she could be related.
Yeah, up here is Filane, and he is, that family is the family of Dominic Filani, who is a Olympic boxer, Canadian Olympic boxer. He won an award medal. many years.
Got a question for Jack.
Okay, I'm actually. Can you guys see these questions that are coming up?
Not under the logo. I can't see it.
Oh, I
It's
can.
under a logo
It
for
says,
me.
How are things with Toba grown, Jack?
So we were unsuccessful in the initial challenge, so very disappointing. But what was really interesting, so like I think most lawyers thought that it was a foregone conclusion when the Supreme Court of Canada ruled on the Quebec legislation through the Murray Hall decision, and I did the case with Kirk Tusaw, and Kirk and I were talking about it, and I said, we need to apply to at least comment on what Murray Hall means. So we basically reopened the case like 8 months after we had concluded it, which was clearly our judge was waiting for the Supreme Court of Canada to rule on it. And in any event, we made our submissions. We were successful in sort of the key, like the most important argument, which is that because it's like a provincial piece of legislation in Quebec that bars you from growing your 4 plants, the ruling on that doesn't bind a Court of King's Bench judge in Winnipeg, Manitoba, right? And so, but like that's not as clear cut as you might think. And so, anyway, we were successful on that front. Unfortunately, the judge then, in my view, I shouldn't comment on it because we're appealing.
That's you, not the court's view.
Right? Yeah. So Jack's view is that they got it wrong. So my view is that they've made some legal errors, and so an appeal is in the process of being filed. So that's where we're at right now. So it's going to go to the Manitoba Court of Appeal, but it probably won't be heard until
how long has this been going on? Since 2020, you said?
Oh my goodness. At least 2020. I'd have to look in my notes, but yeah, at least I think
due process, Jack? What happened to due process? Do we even have that here in Canada?
Well, the Charter of Rights and Freedoms constitutionalized a right to a speedy trial.
Yeah.
But it also constitutionalized certain protections to ensure that a person's procedural rights are respected over the course of that speedy. Like I deal with a lot of administrative stuff. Like we're talking about, say, tobacco. Say you were charged with tobacco, like the litigation associated with a tobacco offense. Or say a provincial offense involving cannabis, like it's like you have like 12 days to file your defense if you have a defense. Like it's so I'm counsel on probably in my view the biggest challenge to the community safety unit in British Columbia. And so we're now going to the BC Supreme Court on it, and I had to write the summary of like everything that's happened in the file, and it was so absurd. Like just 30 days to. I had 30 days to it's a constitutional challenge. On top of a challenge to the idiosyncrasies of the British Columbia Community Safety Unit's regime. And I was sleeping in my office. I'm in a different office now, but previously my office was at Front and Church in Toronto. I can remember it's the middle of COVID, and I was sleeping on the floor near the radiator for 3 hours and then going back to keep working on this application record to make sure that it was filed in the 30-day window. Like it was absurd. And so The only reason I raise that is everyone goes, I want my speedy trial, and I go, sometimes like a little bit of wiggle room isn't bad. But anyway, there's my rant. Sorry, I don't know why.
I have a
You know
legal
what's
rant.
interesting?
Here's a
Well,
puppy.
wait.
Right.
I just want
Oh,
to say
sorry.
one.
Yes, she's going mental, so I'm just
Go
going to
ahead.
hold her for a bit.
Go ahead, Sadie.
Yeah, so I just wanted to say what I found interesting is that the Manitoba judge is looking towards Quebec as their model province out of all of the provinces. Like, seriously, how about you look at any of the other provinces and what they're saying? Because maybe, just maybe, it blows my mind. Like, Quebec, seriously?
Yeah, and the key difference, like what we argued, and the judge completely misapprehended it in my view. Like Manitoba has completely privately owned stores. Like those aren't public stores. In fact, Manitoba's got. When I went to Winnipeg on the initial hearing, we were in I bought a joint at a cannabis store, and then I walked through a door, and then I was in a bar, like a big fun bar with billiard tables and people, and it's all owned by the same person. I go, so they're selling beer and which I just thought it was great. I said, actually, Manitoba's got in some ways like this fantastic private system. But the key difference is Quebec, it's all owned by the government, right? It's government-run liquor stores, government-run cannabis stores. And so their argument is, well, look, if somebody's growing 4 plants at home and they don't need to buy any cannabis from the cannabis store, then that's taking money from public coffers. That's like that was like the locus of their argument in Murray Hall, and they won. Like they hands down won. And so like my point in
Sounds like
it's
just greed.
Yeah, well, definitely. Yeah. But it comes down to whether or not they're constitutionally entitled to do that. And, the Constitution, Section 92, sub 13, deals with property and civil rights. Public, provincial fundraising is pretty squarely in that. So they were on strong grounds there. Manitoba, less so, right? Manitoba, it's like, well, the government doesn't own these stores. It's owned by a guy, and he also owns a bar, and he's or whatever. So
the government did not get involved in anything in Manitoba at all.
The government controls the wholesale distribution, as I recall, but it's privately owned stores. Yeah.
Okay. So the same model is here then, basically. Yeah, in Ontario.
Very similar. Yeah, okay. I would. It's very similar, but. Some of the way that local zoning operates is, I find fascinating. Like if I have a case in Manitoba dealing with it, and it's super interesting. But it's in a lot of ways it's a fantastic system. Other than this draconian prohibition on having 4 stupid cannabis plants at your house. It's like, and the origin of it, when you look at the Hansard reports for the legislation, Wab Canoe is in there now. He's gonna, I suspect he'll change it, but like the prior talk, it was all they were focused on was like protect the children, harm reduction. It's very, very dangerous. All of these concerns that had been overturned in the Allard decision, right? Like the Federal Court of Appeal already ruled on this and said, like, yeah, none of those are real concerns. So,
I for the last few months, Jack, I've been running rebroadcasts of Alan Park's Green Crush podcast.
Yeah.
So I'm listening, and I just ran, last night was number 14. There's like a couple hundred or so. But so I've been listening to conversations Alan's having with people back in 2017.
Right.
Okay. And besides the fact that it's very hard there to listen to Alan going on and over, I'm still here and he's not. Okay. The conversations are the same we're still having, but different. And
Different how?
it's just different. The thinking back then was different. The questions people were asking Jack when he was on the show, the stuff we were talking to him about 10 years ago are not what's in play now.
Well, no, because
even 2017, even 2017, like you said, his show is pre-legalization.
That's right. And I just 2 weeks ago I ran the show that you were on, Marijane. Okay.
What that had to have been later than 2017, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, but the first few shows were marked 2017. That's the date. So that's the one I'm saying.
Okay.
So yeah, I think it was probably closer to 18 or 19.
Yeah, it feels like a long time for sure, and it's true.
You were wearing.
On my cannabis shirt, yeah. Not much shirt, to be honest.
There wasn't much shirt there at all. I was like,
I figured I would cover up. Jack's on the show. I wanted to make sure I was like, I don't want to give the wrong impression. I'm taking now. Come on.
I have a question for Jack. When you come back to when are you coming back to Nova Scotia?
So I'll be back in November for.
That's soon.
Yeah, I was out there last week, and then I was out there this week.
November is next week, Jack.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, so it'll be, I think, November 20. I gotta look at my Google Calendar. I'm a little zonked, frankly. Like it's just been a heavy travel period. So this summer was kind of an adventure for me. I had a really serious ankle injury, and then I got COVID, and it just completely. I've had COVID like 4 times. It's not supposed to be a big deal anymore. But
wait. I thought the vaccine made it so that you didn't get it.
Pardon me?
I thought the vaccine made it so you didn't get it.
Well, I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but I got fully vaccinated.
Marcel.
Yeah, I never got the additional. I got so ill from the vaccine that I can't afford to take that amount of time off work. Like I was out like 8 days. I was way sicker from the vaccine than just getting COVID. So
after your Marcel,
I'm going to get like.
Talk, I have a question about being forced to get tested.
What?
Forced to get tested. What? Oh well, that's tricky. What was the?
Well, no, you go ahead and talk to Marcel there because he was trying to ask you something.
Oh, I'm sorry, Marcel. What's the question?
Just had another question there, and it's actually she's full of good questions tonight. We got to get her back on the show.
She knows she's welcome to come on anytime.
Yeah, but she wants to know if you're using any of the legal AI systems to make your job a little easier now.
He's a writer. He's a writer.
Well, I know
it's a really great question. I've had clients that that have produced they've used the AI to produce various legal documents. One was great. It was they did like a terms of service for a website they wanted to do, and it was okay. Like I was just doing it sort of as a favor or whatever. And that was generally okay. But I had someone what I do is it's a very human interaction, right? Like you've got the letter and the spirit of the law in any interaction that you're dealing with. And I find when clients try to produce legal submissions using these AI programs, like it lacks it lacks the spirit of the law. But I think as well, like one of them got the law wrong. And
I would think it would be they would use the letter of the law. So anything that's written in the law, that's what they would pull from, right?
Well, yeah,
no
and
variables
they pull from everything on the internet, and it's not necessarily tied to, like, for lawyers. I can't, like, say there's somebody gives me a case, I have to like check to see whether or not another judge has said, well, actually that case is no good, they made an error, maybe it was overturned. It's a very dynamic process, and I just don't. Maybe a computer someday can do my job, but I don't, like, it makes me very, very nervous. And like part of it, like the way I said to my client is just, I know when, like, I it's like, just because I do it for a living, but it's like, if something, like, I can just sense, I go, like, I don't like that, and I don't know why, but we're gonna spend 8 hours trying to figure out how come this proposition is not correct in law. And like ChatGPT doesn't have those concerns, or OpenAI or whatever. These artificial intelligences just read, so maybe they read a blog, and the blog's by, a lawyer. Maybe, like, I think of it like, I could, if I wrote a blog about my view of the law, and then ChatGPT read it, like they would be saying, like,
would they be able to distinguish?
Here's the state of the law, and it would, then like some government lawyer would be like, what? None of this is completely contrary to every policy that we've ever.
That's crazy. Would they be able to distinguish? Can a chat GPT or whatever they're called? Are they able to distinguish the law, the written law, and like not so
just
written.
Some web page?
Yeah,
no,
like,
the chat GPT is not going through the law books to find the information to write this thing out. And
it has access. The problem is that not all of the relevant cases are published. And so the AI has access to everything publicly available. So it'll go on to, like, Canly is kind of the general open source place where you get all the cases. But like, I just did a search warrant case where Canly doesn't have the case. Like, I had to go on to.
I've looked for a few cases.
I spend hundreds of dollars a month for access to databases, because every once in a while there's a case, and it's like Canly doesn't have it, and then there's like Thomson Reuters, and then what's it called, Quick Law or whatever, and I have both, like, in order to get in there, because, like, if I need the case, I need the case. And so anyway,
I found that when I was searching for particular cases that I knew existed but weren't on Canly.
Yeah, well, Canly's free, right? And I love Canly. Like, Canly, I think, has revolutionized access to justice and has significantly improved access to justice for many, many people. But all I do is obscure legal stuff, and every once in a while there's something that it's not on Canly. Yeah. That's unfair, right? Like, you can't say to someone that they have one interaction with the justice system and this peculiar situation arises, and you go, all right, well, you're going to need to pay $600 a month for the next 10 years to have access to the case that you require. Yeah. Like, that's a problem. And that, I think, is like I guess I'm just trying to say lawyers are still helpful. Please don't let robots do my job.
there's speaking of AI, there's a site that I have paid to use, and it's for voiceovers, from text to voice. Makes it sound human. Blah blah blah. You can add feelings and emotions and stuff like that. But I've paid to use this service, and in their advertising, they've said thousands of voices, but I only have access to 2. because
You don't pay
have
enough.
to pay a fee to use those other voices.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think that is not right. You know,
And
it
so
shouldn't do
that's
that.
so interesting. So it's a computer. So how do they do it? So they must get a voice actor, and they pay the voice actor money, and they say you're going to
It's
say
all
every word in the
it's
alphabet, or
all
how,
it's all computer generated with the same voice, the Microsoft voice stuff that you've had in your computer since '95. Okay.
really?
Yeah, yep. It's the same stuff, but it's refined using AI, and it adds emotional
Auto-tune.
context to it. It adds, a hi, how are you? If you punctuate it properly, you can get it to sound pretty much like a human. Okay.
Can
But
you can it do because I
Well,
thought
here-
about this
here, hold on. I got one
like
here I
I
can
think
play
of
for
how
you.
I speak. Like I speak funny. Like I kind of have a funny speaking voice.
No,
And I was
you
like, could the
sound funny
AI
to
pretend to be
yourself.
me?
Okay, this is
But you
AI.
sound
Jack.
funny to yourself.
Hang on,
Everybody,
Marcel.
yeah.
This is AI, Jack.
Opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own, and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with. All medical advice during our broadcast.
So I had to work with a script, and
Yeah, but
in
you can
some
tell that's
cases
not a
add
person.
I
different
just write a script and
punctuations.
send it to a guy, and he sends me back a recording, and I'm done.
Well, and that's what I do.
Right? Like that's so human.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have humans to do that.
Yes, of course. But there are voiceover apps that you can get now as well.
But no, what I was going to say is the human touch is a big thing, and a lot
Yes,
of
it
times,
is.
if you're dealing with something that has any semblance of legality,
Or an
you
emotion.
pay the fucking money and get a lawyer. And I'll tell you
Yeah.
why is I got a contract in regards to a patent, and I read it over, and something didn't sit right, but I wasn't sure. So I took it to the lawyer and I said, read this and tell me what's wrong with it. And I gave it to him in the afternoon. The next morning he called me up. He said, yeah, he said, I looked over your contract. He said, it's actually good except for one part. He said, come in and I'll explain it. So I went in and he explained it to me, and it would have screwed me. This one paragraph in this patent. So said that has to be revised, and it was revised and to an amicable agreement.
Amicable?
Yeah. And it was worth the I don't know, $400 I paid or $500 I paid.
Jack's got his lawyer face on. Look.
Actually, no. No. He said, do you know what? He said, this was so easy. He said, it was such an easy contract to read. He said, I'm not going to charge you anything for this. I said, I really appreciate that. He said, just call it my paying it forward. I said, all right. Off we went. The other lawyer, I paid $500.
Well, AI does have its benefits, but it definitely, whatever it spits out is only as good as the information you put in.
I was going to say
And
that.
the more information you give it, the better the response you get, but it's still very unhuman-like. You have to, it has no emotion. You have to butter it up and soften it and make it your own. You can't just, you can't just take what it is, copy and paste it and throw it out and be like, haha, I'm a writer. No, you're not.
Yeah, like I absolutely agree with that.
Just says that they have AI voice skins that can make a man in India in a call center sound like a guy in Texas.
That's cool.
So the more you pay, the better the skin is, I guess. Because if you want to pay for AI voice units for a call center, I mean, that's ideal. I love those guys when they call me. I don't care what country you're from. Really, I don't. I don't even pull a racist card. I just call them thieves and how do they sleep at night. What would
I
what
can't
would their
be mean
grandparents
when I
what would their
can't be mean when
grandparents
they
think of them
call.
of trying to scam people, right?
Oh my
This guy,
goodness.
I'm not a thief. I'm not a thief. You're trying to scam people out of money. It was one of the Microsoft ones that we got a security report on your computer or something.
Oh
And
yeah,
they want to
it's
fix it.
so like yeah.
So my first question is, I've got 12 computers here. What's the MAC address of the one you got the report from? And it just shuts them right up. They have no idea what to say, right? So I've screwed them over a lot of times. But what I found is, if you keep one of these idiots on the line having fun with them, the longer you do it, the less chance there is of him actually scamming somebody.
You're really clicking over there, lady.
What's that called? There's a term. It's like industrial espionage or something, but it's very banal form of treason or whatever, where you deliberately slow down processes if you disagree with what's going on.
I mean, because we're targeted with scams. Every week we're getting another one where some senior's been bilked out of money. They're using AI voices, generation voices, to pretend to be grandkid that's in jail and needs bail. And somebody goes to their house and collects the fucking money.
Yeah. That's amongst criminal defense lawyers that circulated a few years ago and came back this year, where some poor old lady is getting a phone call saying, your nephew Jason he's locked up, and
my mom
you don't give us $4,000, he's not getting out. I've had bail files where I'm dealing with someone's poor grandparents to get someone released, and they're going, how do I even know that you're a lawyer? And I go, that's actually a great question.
It is, isn't it?
I said, I am a real lawyer.
That's funny. Now you're skeptical.
Jack, my mom had almost 10 grand stolen out of her bank account by some scammer.
Yeah.
They're
so smart. They literally call and they go, Grandma, I need help. And then Grandma goes, Matthew? Yep. And then all of a sudden they got your grandson's name, and they pull on the heartstrings and they play the fear cards.
There's a fraud.
See, I haven't gotten I haven't gotten the grandkid one yet, but I fucking can't wait because I'm recording that shit.
They're literally
Marcel's
saying
fantasy.
They're saying it's so bad.
I am waiting for this.
Bad guys to come.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
They're saying right now with Marcel, with technology, they'll be able to emulate your child's voice and use your actual child's voice. Like, they're telling people to create code words with your children now.
Perfect. Because it doesn't matter, because even if it was them, they would never call me for bail, because they grew up with the same fucking attitude that I was taught as a child, that if you get your ass in jail, you get your ass out of jail.
I thought you were going to say you call mom.
Nope. If we went to jail and not one of us, out of the three, not one of us ever fucking spend a night in jail.
Call your mother. She'll call me if this is true.
Well, they may have. I don't know about the other two, but I've never spent a night in jail.
I've had some of the most
but if I get
interactions with humans I've had is when some poor kid, something happens and they need bail, and I'm dealing with it. I can't tell you how many times they've said I've dealt with one where they go, I have no one will sign for me, and then you track down maybe an aunt or an uncle, and it's like it redeems your faith in humanity when it's like he goes, I have not seen this kid in 8 years, and I'm gonna drive to Toronto and he's going to come live with me until we sort this out. It's just like, there's, to me,
that's a great thing.
It's like
even as a kid, I knew if I ended up in jail and I needed bail, I was getting it. But it's just the way it was put to us that it's going to be a nightmare if you do have to get bail for the rest of your life. So
someone's saying I spent
not go to
in
jail.
Yeah. Well, of course, you got to spend a little bit of time to get released because the bail, they have 72 hours before they.
Yeah, if it's for bail, yeah, you're there for a little longer.
It might take a while. I'm not making any comments about bail. I'm just saying that it's I've thought about it myself. I was like, who the hell? Like, okay, so I'm arrested on some crazy allegation. Like, who would I call? You know, like it's
You've been doing this a long time, Jack. Have you been arrested?
I've never been arrested, no.
For cannabis offense or anything, or even protesting or anything?
No.
This is also why I have Jack's phone number.
Yeah, he's on speed dial.
Because I know who I can call.
They had an undercover following me when the dispensary stuff was really, really going crazy in Toronto. An officer would sit and listen to me on the telephone. So that he would sit next to me in the courthouse and listen to me talk on my phone.
Oh, wow.
Which was really troubling. Which it's also completely illegal, but anyway.
Yeah, it is.
But I shouldn't say illegal actually. So if I was in a public space, technically he could, but like a deliberate. What I suspect is he had instructions to listen to me on the phone to try to. I can't remember who the heck they wanted to arrest, but I think they thought they would be calling me. It's just, anyways, it's so, you know.
You should have just turned to the cop and you said, look, they don't call me until after you arrest them. So
what I ended up doing is I knew I was like the nerdy cannabis guy, so I knew all these very senior criminal defense lawyers that do like murders and stuff, and I would always help them with these like really weird cannabis issues that they would have. So I saw a very senior guy and I went over to him and I said, this undercover will not stop listening to me on the phone. Can you like talk to him? And the lawyer went over and said, oh, hey, officer. So like, which it's like anyway, we solved it. But
my uncle was a Supreme Court judge in Toronto, Judge Aaron Brown, who he was the judge on one of the Leafs jumped into the crowd and started beating the shit out of somebody who was watching the game. They got into a fight or something like that. It was a long time ago. Yeah.
What happens if I click this?
I don't know.
Oh, wow. But it doesn't give the chat.
Oh.
Crap.
No,
I just went. I saw that you could go full screen, but when you go full screen, you don't get the chat window on the side.
I do.
I don't.
It clears itself the minute you open it, and then when there's new chat, it will go back in there. You'll see.
Oh, okay. So Jess needs to talk again.
Yeah.
I've been reading along what she's been writing, but now I can't see it. I have to go back. Oh, he helped her when she got pinched at a festival drug testing harm reduction booth.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, Jack. What the?
Say what now?
I don't get how that could be. She's standing at a harm reduction booth and she gets arrested at a festival?
I'm not allowed to talk about someone's file.
She's the one that told me.
You just brought it up.
It got dropped.
I see.
Got dropped.
Right.
Jack's like, yep, I did that.
I'll give you the general state of the law on harm reduction. I don't like talking about someone's personal file. So one of the real risks when you're dealing with harm reduction is that there's like this brief sort of like corona of possession in which like even though you're not You're not possessing it. You are possessing it. And so there is technically a violation under the Controlled Drugs and Substances Act or the Cannabis Act of the substance, even if it's just for the purpose of testing. And so there's this like big argument, and that it's like it's called innocent agency. And innocent agency developed as a defense to allegations of possession in I think it's actually from the Maritimes, but it's like it's during Prohibition, when they did prohibition on alcohol. There were still legal reasons that someone might possess alcohol, and so the police would pull over a truck and it's full of liquor. And they would go like, all right, well, like this is all illegal. Like there's prohibition, or this is a dry county, or whatever. And innocent agency developed as someone that, you know, like a Crown would describe it as lawful entitlement, but I don't think that's the correct term.
Would it have been considered medicinal back then? Alcohol?
Yeah, that was the exemption that they would. So,
wouldn't it be lawful entitlement though?
Right. Yeah. That's how the Crown wants to phrase it. But I don't like phrasing something as lawful entitlement, because it means that I have to proffer my lawful entitlement. Right. I'm a defense lawyer. I prefer like, well, you tell me what law I'm breaking. What law am I breaking? What am I disentitled to? Right.
Right.
Like,
because lawful entitlement would be somebody that has the paperwork saying it was being delivered to a pharmacy.
Right. Right. And so I don't like giving the government that upper hand to like, I think that once they have that on issue A, then they'll want it on issue B. And suddenly we're in a fascistic, phony baloney system. So I the rule of law. But anyway,
Jack, if you ever represent me and say phony baloney, I'm going to crack up and just start laughing on the floor.
Right, yeah. I'm known for this, where I'm doing some completely outrageous, obscure argument about I'll say something like phony baloney. But
the judge will be like, sir, you can't say that word.
Hey, you'd be surprised what you can get away with. I watched a judge call a prosecutor an idiot.
Oh,
no. How he did it was, the first time he asked him, because he said, "Are you an idiot?" And the guy said no. And then he turned around and asked the exact same question, and the judge snapped. He said, "No, you are. You are an idiot. Get up here." And
I spent
it
happens to the Crown, and it happens to defense lawyers.
I wouldn't answer the question.
You just rub a judge the wrong way.
Well, the judge liked me, but
good.
And I wouldn't answer the question because it would incriminate me. And so I said, I'm not going to answer a question that's going to incriminate me. I said, unless the court wants to grant me immunity. And the judge looks and he said, no. He said, sir, he said, I'm not going to grant you immunity because I honestly don't think you need it, because you already know what you're doing. So he looked at the prosecutor. He said, reword the question. He didn't. He asked the exact same fucking question. And that's when he said, are you an idiot? And he said, no. And he went over to his paperwork, and then he looked up and he asked basically the same fucking question. And it was, how do I process cannabis? And this was before cannabis was legal, but I was medical. Right? And because the whole case was, an individual was using cannabis for medical purposes, and his defense was medical necessity and not being able to get a doctor, which was very common then. The prosecutor brought in an RCMP expert to go on the stand and testify that anybody that used 5 grams of cannabis in a day would be comatose. So they brought me in with my 30 gram a day license. And finally, the defense lawyer, he said, you have a very high license. He said, how much cannabis have you used today? I said, so far today, I said, I've used about 20 grams. I said, and as soon as I get out of this place, I'm going to be looking at another 20 to 25 grams. I said, and the judge just fucking cracked right up. And so the defense, he said, why do you use cannabis? And I said, because I've got MS. I said, uh, he said, so how do you use it? I said, I ingest it and I smoke it. And the prosecutor jumps up and he says, you smoke it? And I said, yes. And he said, why would you smoke it if it's medicinal? I said, well, actually, the ingestion helps with the physical aspects of the illness that I have. The smoking helps with the mental aspect to help with the fatigue and to know when somebody's trying to set me up. The fucking judge lost it again. And he said, if there's no more questions, he said, you can step down. I said, all right. So I'm going on the way out of the courtroom, and the judge says, as I'm walking out, he said, well, that man doesn't look very comatose to me. He said, do you have any other witnesses?
What case was this?
Yeah, as I was
What
walking
case
out.
was this, Marcel? That's amazing.
This was one happened here in Amherst, Nova Scotia, back in 20 think in 2011, maybe 2010.
I would love to see the
2011.
transcripts.
I'll see if I can find them because it was fucking
That's
hilarious.
amazing.
It was actually
That's
that's one of those cases I went on to Canley looking for, and I couldn't find.
They'll have transcripts, but that's so funny.
Yeah.
It sounds like you had a classic good judge too.
Oh, and it was. So after that, every case that I went to be a witness for medical, and this guy was the prosecutor, he only ever had one question for me, and that was, who was my doctor? And I give him the same answer every time, and he said, I have no further questions for this gentleman, because he knew that he was going to lose. He would have been ripped apart again. I'm not fucking with this guy. I know him. Well, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't talk to the doctor because him and the doctor were friends. So they all ate the same cookies. But yeah, fun times in the Maritimes. We did a lot of court cases back in the early days through MUM here in Nova Scotia with patients getting busted. And I mean, some of them were kind of stupid cases, but they actually made an impact. A guy got busted, a medical patient got busted because the cops went into his house, and on his table he had scales and baggies. And he had cash in his house, in his wallet.
Give me a break.
And this was their whole premise for charging them. So I went in as a witness. I went in with a bag of fucking pot. I weigh it out, put it in a fucking bag, right? That's what we do because our license says we're only allowed to 30 grams a day. So every day I weigh out 30 grams. That's what I have. That's for my day, right? Of course, we're going to have scales. Bags, I also use them for sandwiches, right? So this is the thing. We did a thing with the RCMP. So the RCMP contacted us and wanted to interview medical patients. And this was well before legalization. And they wanted to do this individually. And we said, no, what we'd rather do is we'll get a group of us together. We'll rent a room at the library and we can sit down and have an education session. So they sent drug expert, the one that teaches all of them. And of course, I had to say, do you guys seriously try and tell the courts that 5 grams a day will make somebody comatose? And he looked at me, he said, that's the literature we're provided with. That's what we give. He said, that's why I'm here. He says, we know things are wrong here. He said, how do we differentiate between illegal and medical? I said, you can't. I said, if somebody's growing legally, I said, they're going to be a lot cleaner than somebody that's growing illegally, right? In most cases, because they're growing it for their medicine. So you're also going to see them paying for their power, not stealing power, because they're growing their medicine. So they're not going to take the risk of stealing power in most cases. There's always going to be the individuals that will do stupid shit on a medical license. But this is what we were trying to explain to them. And yeah, okay, Jess, they can still be grown for medicine, but that's the thing. It's to differentiate between medical and an illegal grow, you can't, right? Other than, is it for medical purposes? Do you have a doctor that knows that you're using this for medicine, even though that you're not licensed? Can you get a doctor? In this province, we can't get a doctor. It's like over 170,000 people can't have a doctor in this province. So
Yeah.
and then to get a doctor that'll sign for cannabis, medical cannabis, when they say, oh, you can just go to the liquor store and get it. No, you can't. Liquor store sells distillates. That's not medicine. That's just money grabbing crap. Gives me a headache. So their only real options is to grow their own, or find the very far and few between licensed producers that will provide a whole plant extract, not a distillate.
Right.
So until then, I will continue on as is until I die.
There you go. Gee,
And
Jess, you're chatty today.
who?
Jess?
Yeah, I know.
She's
That's why I say
chatty.
we got to get her on the show.
Well, she knows how to get a hold of us.
Here's something else that fucking dawned on me the other day. Has anybody heard anything about the class action suit?
No.
I see. Everybody just
Obviously,
has
no.
blank stares. Oh, come on, Jess. I'll send you the link.
Yeah, come on in. We still have a half an hour.
I gotta go find her on Facebook here. But yeah, no, I was thinking about that the other day, that we haven't heard anything about the class action suit. How long's a class action suit supposed to take when you're suing the government?
Well, they can take a really, really long time because you have to certify the class. So, defining and setting out who the class of people that have been harmed is like extraordinarily painstaking. So, like, it's not unheard of for just once it's certified, it usually settles like almost.
Yeah, but this was certified a couple of years ago.
What happened to Mary Jane? Mary Jane was pointing at us. I thought she was trying to speak.
Oh,
I don't know. She's gone. Timmy took her away.
It was certified a few years ago, and we still haven't heard anything back. And it was a privacy breach.
This was when they mailed out everyone's addresses?
Yeah, in Health Canada did that back in 2011.
Was it that
Yeah,
long
I think.
ago? Holy.
Yeah,
I
it
remember.
was that fucking long ago. It was before Allard.
Yeah, I remember. I know one of the lawyers on it. I don't know what's happened with it, frankly.
I sent Jess the link. If she comes on, then we'll have her.
Mary Jane fell off. She'll see us next week, she said.
Oh, what a
Okay.
whiner. She could come back on.
Yeah, she.
She's gonna miss the my fun facts that I had tonight.
Fun facts. You
Fun
know what?
facts. Marijuana fun facts.
I forgot to load some fun fact stuff.
Well,
You go ahead.
here's some fun facts for you.
All right.
Where are we here?
I need some water. Here, I'll be right back.
Who has smoked the most joints in the world?
Snoop Dogg.
You think?
I don't know.
Well, it might be hard to prove. I mean, Snoop Dogg supposedly smokes the most joints in a day. But to smoke the most joints in the world.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Is it Dalai Lama?
How about Irvin Rosenfeld?
Oh, well, yeah, that makes sense because he gets a tin every month.
Yeah, he's.
Does he, that's somebody who I've always wanted to have on the show, but I don't think we've ever had on the show.
No, yeah, we haven't. In 2014, he had held the Guinness World Record by having smoked more than 115,000 joints, and that was in 2014.
And that
So
he would have a
how
record.
many has he smoked since then? Well, yeah, because they're supplied to him by the government. He's the last one. He's the holdout. He's been receiving 10 medical marijuana joints every day for the last 35 years.
Hello, beautiful. I think we've lost Jack, have we? No, Jack is still here.
I'm here. Hi.
Jack's here somewhere. He just ran out, I guess, for a second.
He went to get a drink of water.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember him saying that.
Short-term
How are
memory.
you, sweetie? What are you doing? We miss you. I'm
He
going to
said
shut off this chat thing because you're the only one chatting.
There he is.
There he is.
Hey.
Hey, sorry. Yeah, no, I just needed a drink.
Yeah, I'm going to go do the same thing. You guys have a chat with Jess.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, Jess is here. Hey, Jess.
Yeah,
How are
hi.
you doing? Long time no see.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you. Oh, fun.
All right, here's another one. What was the biggest joint ever rolled?
Ooh, it wasn't that giant one in California. Remember, it was on the front of a magazine. What was it, like 15 ounces or something stupid? It couldn't have burned well. There's no way it could have burned well.
So, in 2016, for a 420 event, when over the course of 5 days, the guy rolled a 4.20 pound or 1.9 kilogram joint. It consisted of a watermelon-shaped joint that counted with a specially built base for it to be comfortably sitting while he smoked from the hose attached to it for proper smoking.
Wow.
4.2 pounds.
Is that a Guinness record? Is that?
I don't know. I don't know if they go to Guinness for that one.
Yeah.
Probably took them a fucking week to smoke it.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet. Wow.
How about the biggest blunt?
Oh,
biggest blunt?
that requires a lot of tobacco. Is it tobacco blunt or? I guess it could be.
It's usually a tobacco wrapper.
Mo, be careful. Yep. Now they have hemp blunts.
Yeah. This one contained 5 pounds.
Wow. How did they even do that?
And when
That's
it comes to
waste. That's such a
waste. But when it came to smoking, it lasted for about 4 hours. There's like the hot box and the hot box.
What about the biggest dab? Remember that guy that did the double?
Hang on, I'll tell you the largest dab in the world record.
Yeah.
Stoner for largest dab is American to another American dab company. It was in 2015. Company hosted an event specifically organized with this goal in mind, breaking the previous existing dabbing record of almost 90 grams.
Wow.
did they succeed? The group broke the record by far, over 4 times more, with almost 420 grams of hash,
Wow.
sparking up the dab of their lives and the dab of history.
Wow.
Dabs of history.
How many bags
420
captured that
grams.
bomb? That must have been
Wow.
a lot.
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
How
Stuff.
about the world's most expensive joint?
Oh, was it wrapped in gold leaf? I love that stuff.
It was 1.5 pounds of premium quality marijuana flowers, bubble hash, solventless concentrate, and 24 karat gold rolling papers.
Yeah, see, I knew it. That's
And
awesome.
it was 30 inches. Yeah, it was a 30 inches long.
Wow, cool. That's
And
awesome.
they didn't smoke it.
What?
Yeah, they auctioned it off for $24,000.
Whoa, that's incredible. Good for
Yeah.
them. That's awesome.
So the world's most legendary hot box record. So if you could have done that with that 5-pound blunt, happened in Barcelona, Spain, where they lit 800 grams of rosin
Wow.
in a room.
Yeah, I'd love to go to Spain. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. And it says within the first few seconds, the whole room was filled with marijuana smoke. And to be honest, it was quite a waste of material.
Yeah.
That's just
Yeah.
kind of stupid.
Yeah.
How big do you think the biggest illegal plantation of marijuana plants was?
Ooh, that's in North America or in the world?
In the world.
Wow. Hey, no.
Northern Africa must be like
Yeah.
Algeria or Morocco or somewhere.
Nope. Mexico.
Mexico, yeah, that's the other one. You know, Charles Reefer Man used to grow down there, and he was like,
We had him on the show not too long ago.
How is he doing?
Good. He moved back to Canada.
He's back here.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. I just remember him telling me, like, he goes, yeah, it was great. The army patrolled our cannabis fields, and I was just like, this is crazy.
Well, this was in 2011. They found a plantation consisting of 300 acres of land, housing more than tens of thousands of marijuana plants.
That is a lot.
Which many reached heights of almost 2.5 meters. So those were big plants. The world record was disguised among tomato and chili plants in a remote desert area near the state of Baja California.
Wow.
Police destroyed the crops. They said it would have had an approximate value of $160 million US.
It's probably one of them videos of the cops laughing as they're burning weed.
No, there's an aerial photograph that well, that might be 300 acres. It's massive.
Show it. You can share. Oh no, you can't.
Yeah.
Yes, you can. You should be able to share.
So I was hoping Darcy was going to be on for this one. The world record to the biggest auto flowering plant in history.
Okay. All right.
All right. What do you think the most bud you would get off an auto flower?
An ounce.
Yeah. An ounce.
Is that what you would get normally off of an auto flower? About an ounce?
Well, no, it depends. Some of those Dynafem autos were like really did produce a lot, but you don't get a lot off them.
No, you don't. Auto flowers are meant to be grown quick and dirty, and if you get an ounce or two off of them, you're doing great.
I never got more than an ounce off an auto flower, but they hid between my tomato plants awesomely.
This guy got 1.125 kilograms off of one auto
couple
flower.
Of pounds. Yeah. Awesome. Good for them.
And experts have the theory that the plant would have produced 150 grams more if it would have been provided with better levels of moisture, or the cultivator would have given the plant time to finish growing her growing process. So he cut it early.
Cool. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Can you
this
not
this was
cross?
interesting. No, this was interesting because this guy was if you cross something that can still be an autoflower, but this was a short autoflower. It's his room set up. Think about this. He uses a spare room as his indoor with a single 600-watt HPS and a hood. He transfers them to an 800-watt black diamond full spectrum LED for the buds, right? For flowering.
Weird.
His airflow is different. He's got a closed system. So he uses a timer and it stays between 800 to 1200 parts per million. And when the lights turn off, it drops to 600 parts per million. The temperature's kept at a steady 78 Fahrenheit. So
Parts per million of what, too?
CO2, right? So he's literally just
Yeah.
circulating CO2 in his room.
Ew.
When he doesn't use the CO2 in his tent setup, the one coming in from the house, which actually has higher CO2 coming from the air you exhale. So your ventilation system in your house that sucks the air out and circulates it, well, he has it piped into his garden. So his plants are always getting a massive amount of CO2, and this is why he was growing these humongous autoflowers.
So extra oxygen in it too, like for the off cycle, or like, I mean,
they don't need oxygen.
No, sorry, yeah, they take up oxygen at night. I mean,
no, they absorb CO. They convert the CO2, right? So they convert CO2 to oxygen. That's why plants are important, right? So they take CO2 into the plant and convert it and expel oxygen. This is why you don't cut down the trees in the Amazon. But really, the Amazon only supports enough oxygen to supply the plant life and the animal life in the Amazon. So
We've lost another woman.
Oh, did we? We lose Jess?
Yeah.
Oh, poor Jess.
It's been a long time since I've talked to her.
Yeah. So that was the biggest joint. The most potent sativa dominant strain of all time. See, I'm going to fucking argue this.
Jack, are you still doing the normal thing?
Yeah. We're still with normal and still active and advocating for change.
Reform.
Yeah.
The argument's still there.
Oh, most certainly, yeah. Particularly with the coming election, so we're going to be working actively to interact with candidates and sort of politicians from every party prior to the next election,
including Trudeau's regime.
Yeah, although I think there's limited value in sort of I suspect we're going to have a conservative government. Just that's my thinking, and so we're going to need to confirm whether the next sort of round of politicians in power are going to be reasonable about cannabis, because we have to be as a community, we have to be really careful. So
can they just as a happenstance, as a what if somebody else comes into office, can they overturn what's going on now? Can they shut these switches off that has turned on the cannabis flow in Canada?
Well, they can. I think it would be a lot of work, so I think it's unlikely, but they absolutely can. I think what's more likely with what is anticipated to be a Tory government, I think, is certain reforms which will enhance penal sanction, which we don't like, but which may also improve tax implications. So I'm working as always. Normal is going to try to protect our community as best we can. So that's what we're working on.
Cool.
Genoway, caveat.
That's the reason the argument's not over yet. I mean, people, I don't mind the fact that I can walk into a store, grab what I like, and walk out. What I don't like is the fact that I can't ask any questions. The best thing I can do is can I hold the bag and squish the bag, see if it's even still soft. You don't get much of anything out of a bud tender because they're not allowed to give you any other information but personal information. They can't say anything medical. And
it shows Jess in our chat now.
Oh, that's
I
cool.
know. She said she's watching because she had to charge her phone. Her phone died.
Well, yeah, because she's on her iPad. So
yeah. But you get what I mean, Jack. Like it's a repetitive argument that has never stopped, even though we can walk down the street and smoke pot and go into a store and buy it and not have to worry about getting busted when you walk out the door. You can grow 4 plants in your yard or in your home at any time of the year. And for somebody who is a seasoned grower, you can do pretty good for your stash every round,
Yeah.
The convenience of being able to walk into a store and get what you want when you want is great. But like I said, you can't ask questions. Is this gonna change in a new government? The way that we're able to get everything? Are they going to say, okay, let's start from scratch?
I think that it's unlikely because a significant amount of we'll call them the interactive prohibitions are instituted by provincial governments. So that's controlled by each province. So if Manitoba is an example, like they've gone in a very healthy way left, right? So it's an NDP government under Wabkanu. Ontario is current. It's anticipated that Ontario is going to go left in the provincial election, but federally, it's anticipated they're going to go right. But ultimately, I think that there may be some relaxation of rules at the provincial level, so the storefronts, and the reason for that is not so much political change as the stores have been around for a while, so they're just going to relax and go like, all right, like let's try this, let's see what happens. The provincial government's position has always been it's easier to relax rules than to enhance rules. And I think that the federal government's going to view it the same way. The real question is are they going to just make it illegal again? Right? That's the total fear.
And there is a drastic difference between the thinking and the agenda of the Liberals and the PCs and the NDPs and the blah, 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 blah. There is an agenda with each of them. And until somebody stands up and actually gives us a fair agenda where they're not bullshitting us, they're telling us what we need to know, they're not distinguishing between fairness between medical and recreational. Weed is weed. If you have a medical need, then you should have the right to have that medical need. If you want to smoke pot just because you like smoking pot, you should be able to do that too. It's 2023, for fuck's sakes. How long do we have to sit here, Jack?
Well, so I certainly agree. I think that personally, what I think is that we're going to have a relaxation of the tax regime on cannabis so that the legal industry can function. It's like it right now, the excise tax on it is just absurd. So
It's not a fair market. That's for sure. I mean, people who got in at the beginning are now getting out. And that includes the big guys. Okay.
Yeah, well, the amount of shareholder value that is. I was looking at stock valuations for some of these
stocks.
It's absurd. I can remember saying that I was like, this company owns a couple of like large gardens, and some intellectual property, but beyond that, like they were valued. Like Canopy is one of these large cannabis companies. Canopy, I think, was valued at a higher valuation than
Canopy absorbed every single stock that my sister bought, and we got nothing out of it. And then somebody else absorbed the company that was doing Tragically Hip's stuff. They absorbed it. We got nothing out of that at all. Nothing.
I don't use
I'm not saying a word, man.
Stuff.
I will not ever go into the stock ever. Never.
Well, some people made a whole bunch of money.
Fuck off, Marcel.
Jack, he's being rude to me. He's telling me to fuck off.
Well, talk to your lawyer.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I didn't mean to do that. I don't know. How did I do that?
No. Al's being rude to me and telling me to fuck off because I find the whole.
Right, as long as I'm not doing it.
I find the whole thing, the stock thing, humorous because back before legalization and they started talking about licensed producers and LPs and stocks, I went on a big rant and told everybody, don't waste your fucking money putting it into these stocks.
Well, you've been laughing at me for 5 fucking years, Jack.
It's not just you, man. You lost a drop in the bucket compared to some people.
I know that. My sister's buddy at work went in and bought some stocks, and 6 months later, he walked out with 80 grand.
Yeah.
And my sister was like, I'm going to buy some stocks. So she went out and bought some stocks. Tilroy, Tweed.
Do you still have your Tilray? Do you still have your Tilray stocks?
I believe it was absorbed. I don't know. I have no idea what's there now at all. I said like fuck off. Don't even talk to me. When
just as Tilray's jumped,
give me account, then talk to me. But that's like, her friend cashed out at the end of that first big rush where everybody went yes. And then but then what happened was all these little companies were bought by the big companies. Some were absorbed, some were just added on, but the stocks in most cases don't carry through. Right? I think that when Canopy bought Aurora or one of the big ones, we had both. They gave us a couple of extra points when they transferred everything. That's the best that we did. But our stocks are not worth shit at the moment. Anyways, they in fact
Tilray's made a big jump.
I know, but I think at this point it would cost us more money to pull out than to just leave it.
Oh,
yeah.
I had a meeting
because you get all these corporate guys that went in and bought fucking stocks right at the beginning, right? Because they have the money to do shit like that. That's what they do. And then us little guys, get absorbed and get nothing. Like we were excited to have stocks from the Tragically Hip Cannabis Company, right? And then nothing, just gone. Hello again.
So I listened to this podcast called the All In Podcast. I don't know if you guys heard of it, but they were talking about the stocks and the jump in the market recently. And Tilray is outperforming most stocks, not just cannabis stocks. It's insane. They're worldwide blowing up.
Why?
Well, because they're worldwide, I assume. I don't know, but there is. If you go find, I can.
Yeah,
find
but
that.
normally what happens is. sorry, but normally what would happen for a stock to blow up is an acquisition or a merger or a new product development or a new market. I'm just
They
wondering.
purchased a number of American breweries, so that like they've entered the American alcohol market. I know that was sort of
Okay,
their
that
big
would.
2023
All right, sorry,
thing.
Jess. Please continue.
They're also like, in other countries they can buy weed from other countries, right? So they're worldwide now. And yeah. Anyways, I have a graphic that I could show you, but I'd have to leave this and go back to the All In podcast and find it. But that's the greatest podcast, by the way. I don't know if you guys listen to it, but it's pretty amazing. Have you heard of it? The All In podcast.
What's it called? All In podcast.
Yeah. It's
cool.
4 billionaires, 5 billionaires that play poker. So that's why they call it the All In podcast. But it's got Chamath Palihapitiya, from Toronto. I don't know if you know him. Anyways. And David Sachs from Twitter and Buddy from Google. And so it's just it's pretty amazing to listen to. It's totally worth listening to. I think it comes out 2 or 3 times a week. It's amazing. But I was, my ears perked right up when I heard them talk about Tilray, so I had to go look up the graphics and stuff from their website. It's pretty amazing. So yeah, it's just All In, the All In podcast. But yeah, I was shocked at that. I was really shocked. So they're killing it. So if you have Tilray stock, man, I would look into it because it just went like boom right up. It was insane. Yeah.
I've never owned a cannabis stock before. I remember in the early days, everyone was like a millionaire off these stocks.
Hear that, Jack.
And I was like, I thank God now that I didn't buy any. But I can remember when I'd be in court with people that were like, I made $1 million off of Canopy or one of these stocks. It's like, oh my God.
Do you remember the hydrogen fuel cell that came out early 2000? No.
Yeah,
early 2000. I had a meeting in BC when I lived out there with a bunch of engineers. And when I got to the meeting, one of the guys wasn't there. And I said, are we waiting for him? They said, no, we're not waiting for him. He said, did you watch W5? And I said, no, W5 did a special the night before on the hydrogen fuel cell. That fella had invested $10,000 from an inheritance into the stocks, into this hydrogen fuel cell.
Yeah.
He was sitting at home watching the stock. When it hit $1 million, he was cashing out and retiring. And I never saw him again. So it's one of those things, those announcements that can make or break your investment. And knowing when to get out, because I'm sure his stocks wouldn't be worth that now.
We've seen a few people come and go in our community like that.
Yeah.
Yep. I got a name on the tip of my tongue, but I won't say it. Starts with an F.
Derek?
F?
Yeah, I'll tell you later.
Yeah, okay.
So I got a funny story. I'm a class 2 license now, school bus driver. And I'm not, so as far as alcohol and cannabis, like country Nova Scotia, but by law, first of all, I'm a lightweight now. I do 2 dabs and I go to bed. I'm not anymore because I don't smoke or during the week. I don't. I'll have a dab before bed and that's it. I don't the cannabis anymore. So, well, I mean, maybe on the weekend. But so here's the rules. I'm allowed to have one single drink like the day before I drive the bus, but I'm allowed to consume cannabis as long as I get 4 hours sleep.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There are rules.
That makes perfect sense to me.
Like yeah, it does to me too, but I never expected.
But no, because in most cases, your cannabis is going to be worn off in about 4 hours, especially if you smoke a joint. If you ingest it and it's like a really high dose, you might be a little groggy in the morning. So I think
it can't be 4 hours. It can't be just 4 hours. It has to be 4 hours of sleep. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense because you could get home from work, puff until bedtime, and then sleep 8 hours.
Hey, Jack, is there an established legal time that it takes for cannabis to leave the system, and you are not impaired?
No, there's generally it's codified so that like they just do they can do a swab or a metabolite test for it. So you're statutory. It's sort of like with liquor where you can not display any signs of impairment whatsoever. But if you blow the breathalyzer and you're over 80, as we call it, then you're statutorily considered to be impaired. The same thing exists for cannabis. I'm really thrilled with what Jez has said because that's like it sounds like a great policy, great set of rules for people that are engaging in this work. And like generally, like at least for me, if I'm consuming and I'm thinking about sobriety, 4 hours is generally like,
well, are there rules that you have to adhere to as a lawyer with all that stuff as well, Jack? I mean, obviously you don't go into fucking courts, or into meetings, obviously. But are there rules that you have to follow with that, being a consumer as well?
Well, that's a great question. So I'm obligated to provide service to my clients that is there's a term of art to it, and I can't remember what the term. I have to. It's not satisfactory service, but competent. Yeah, I have to provide. There's a level of competency. So whether I've consumed cannabis or not, I'm not sure is even really part. Like if I was extremely inebriated on any substance.
I was going to say, I mean, it would be no different than going into a session drunk. But although that happens all the time, and it's a normal thing, it's just something that happens.
Well, I don't know if it's normal, but as a lawyer, your question constantly is like, what is in the best interests of my client, and you have to make sure that you're in a position to help them. So like having any said, like my rule is no substances whatsoever before court or when I'm dealing with answering legal questions. So and that has generally helped my clients. Like that's the best way to help my clients. But like I'm a member of the cannabis community. Like I like using cannabis. It's very pleasant.
But see, you and I'd be the opposite.
But there's no iron set rules like you have to wait 48 hours like a cop.
No, in fact, I did a trial. Like I'm an Ontario guy, but I practice it across Canada. But I did a trial in British Columbia where this crown kept complaining about the odor of It's like my co-counsel's. No, it was a BC guy that had cannabis on him and liked using it, but after court. So it was, I think that my point there was it's not a competence issue. It's funny, right? That the standard that you apply is I set the rules for my practice, right? Like if I said, okay, I can do XYZ and it's a competent level of practice, I've made my assessment, like that's generally fine. I just thought it was funny because it was a weed guy and he smelled like weed. And this crown was losing his friggin' mind over it. And I just thought, I was like, yeah, like, what do you think this is like? It's not plutonium, it's friggin' cannabis. Like, who cares? Anyway, there's my rant.
So, my friend, it's 9:00 and we have to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jack, it's always a pleasure. Jess, you are welcome to sit in anytime. You should know this by now.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Jess was here with me for many years. Long time ago.
Yeah.
Another lifetime ago.
There's a lag in the video. I'm not managing to keep up with you guys. But thank you very much for.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
And
Come
Jack,
back
let's make this more frequent.
Sure, I love it. It's always fun.
We need to watch your puppy grow up.
Yeah, you gotta watch your puppy grow.
Oh, right, yeah. She's having
That's awesome.
a nap in my kitchen right now.
Rose is in the bedroom with Steven napping. All right, folks, it's time to go. Mary Jane will be back next week. She doesn't like the new format we're using. Oh, well, she'll get used to it. Jess, take care of yourself. We'll be back. Marcel, peace out.
Peace out.
Oh.
Bye.
Cannabis Broadcasting Group here at cbgtv.com.